right, chat. Let's see here. Get the stream pulled up on my end. Where's it at? There it is. Okay, cool. We got it. We got it pulled up. Finally. What is up, chat? Wonderbro here with Vacay Fear. Today we're going to be talking about anxiety recovery to feel like your old self again, act like your old self. So we're going to dive into this a little bit. You guys that have been watching me for a while, you know I'm not a huge fan of the term act how you want to feel. I like to say act how you know you should feel. But regardless, we're going to jump into this in just a bit once we let some people get in here because this is a very important topic. Like always, this stream will cover the two main keys. This stream will cover everything that you need to know for healing. So, if you're new here, and I wanted to bring this up for just a second, if you're new here, please do not feel overwhelmed by the amount of streams that we do. Please do not feel like you've got so much catching up to do. I know I got a comment or two from some new subscribers. I think it was like last week or the week before, and they were like, "Do we need to start on a particular video? Do we have to watch all of these?" No. You do not have to dive into my catalog of hundreds and hundreds of videos. All right. If you're new here, just keep up with the new streams. You will learn all that you need to know. In this stream, we will be covering all that you need to know. In most streams where we talk about anxiety, we cover all that you need to know. Okay. We just like to put it many different ways. What is up, chat? What's up, Jack? Olivia, welcome, guys. What's up, Wonder Bro? What's up, man? How you doing? How are you doing? Anxiety recovery to feel like your old self again, act like your old self. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about why this works, how this works, where does thoughts come into play on this, how do thoughts enter the equation, what to do about those. We're going to talk about it. Hi, Wonder Bro. I think I'm recovering now. I can easily recognize my intrusive thoughts, but sometimes I fail and get involved. That is okay. Don't beat yourself up. It's not about trying to fight those thoughts. It's not about trying to do anything with those thoughts. It's about realizing that they are a bluff. Okay? It's about realizing that they are a bluff because you are in a tired body. But we're going to talk about what you need to be focused on today. All right? We're going to talk about what you need to be doing. So it's kind of a late one. It's kind of a late one. It's like 3 a.m. here. I don't expect a huge turnout for this stream. Never really is at this time. But oh well. Oh well. I felt motivated. We're going to knock this stream out. It's important. People need to hear it. So we're going to get going. All right, guys. We're about 3 minutes into this. Let me notify the Discord one more time, just in case. Just in case, we'll send that over there. Also, guys, if you are new here, always, if you're watching the streams after they happen, always skip about 3, 4, 5 minutes into the stream, and you can find the point of the stream there. 8 in the morning in the UK, early one for me. Good morning, Jack. Miss Lady Blue, hello. So, this stream is inspired and was inspired, like a lot of my streams are, by your comments, by habits and traits that I'm noticing in comments, questions that I get quite frequently. So, everything that I really do here on the channel comes down to, is my audience getting it? And if they're not getting something, then let's tackle that particular area there. All right, so you guys influence the channel a lot with your comments. Keep them coming. All right, guys, we're about 4 minutes into this, so let's go ahead and jump to the point of the stream. This is all you need to know, chat. This is all you need to know to recover. If you listen to what I'm about to say and actually use it, you will make progress, all right? At the end of the day, it's up to you, all right? But if you want to retrain your brain, listen to what I'm about to say and jump into it head first. So, title of the stream, Anxiety Recovery. To feel like your old self again, act like your old self. Now, we've talked about behaviors a lot here in the past, and we've talked about thoughts a lot here in the past. They go hand in hand. It is the two main keys after all. Now, a lot of people, when they hear one of our two main keys, which is to not get involved or entertain your negative intrusive thoughts, they try really hard to do that. Right? They try really hard to do that, but they're not doing any positive behaviors. They're not moving on with their life. They're not trying to smile more. They're not trying to show their brain that there is not a real danger present. The brain doesn't know if there's a real danger present or not. It's up to you. It's up to you to show the brain that there's not a real danger. How would you behave or how would you act if there was not a real danger present, right? So if you're triggered by anxiety, if you're triggered by these thoughts and you've got a lot of irrational anxiety there, it's there, it's pumping and pumping, what would you do? Would you continue to try to make yourself smile, try to laugh more, try to talk to your friend? I know you feel like dog shit, okay? First of all, I do understand that you feel like dog shit, but if there was not a real danger there, okay, and you know there's not a real danger there, you're obviously being bluffed by thoughts. You're obviously having a lot of irrational anxiety right now. So if you know there's not a real danger there, what are some things you can do to prove to your brain that there's not a real danger there, right? Ask yourself that question and then do those things. These things can be big or small. It can come down to your posture. It can come down to smiling more. It can come down to just getting back into old habits. It can come down to just cleaning your house. It can come down to just the way that you carry yourself. It can come down to not giving in, okay, and this is what it does come down to not giving in to the anxiety's advice to fight, flee, or freeze, right? So now, what I'm noticing and what really inspired this stream is I'm noticing a lot of people who sit around and lay around in bed all day long, okay? And they're trying to do really good at not following or entertaining their negative thoughts. But the entire time they're laying in bed. The entire time they're laying in bed on Google. The entire time they're laying in bed with their blanket over their head in a very defeated manner, a very defeated posture. They're not doing things they used to enjoy. They're not talking to a friend, for example. And no excuses. There's always a positive behavior you can do. I don't care if you don't have friends. I don't care due to this lockdown. I don't care. All right. I don't care. No excuses. There's always something positive with your behaviors that you can be doing. So throw the excuses out the window. So a lot of people focus, like I said, really hard on trying not to entertain the negative thoughts. But they're sitting around all day doing absolutely nothing to show their brain that there's no real danger, right? So if I'm dedicated to not following or entertaining my negative intrusive thoughts because Wonder Bro told me they're a bluff, right? But I'm sitting around all day long doing absolutely jack shit. Okay, I'm not smiling. I have a very defeated posture. I'm freezing up, just like the anxiety is telling me to do. Every time I feel like fleeing, I'm fleeing. I'm running around the house. Every time I feel like fighting, I'm fighting, right? If I'm trying really hard not to entertain my negative intrusive thoughts, but at the same time, I'm doing absolutely nothing to show my brain that there is not a real danger, well, you're not going to get very far, right? And that's why I like to say we have the two main keys for a reason. There is the two main keys for a reason. You've got to use both. If I could have only one main key, I would have only one main key. But we've got two main keys for a reason, right, guys? So I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people, they tell me, I'm doing really well with trying not to entertain my negative intrusive thoughts. And I'm like, great, well, what are you doing in the meantime? While you are allowing your negative intrusive thoughts and understanding that they are a bluff, understanding that going there with them is ultimately futile, while you are trying to do that, while you are practicing doing that and not fueling the fire, what are you doing in the meantime? Right? Well, I spend a lot of time online reading anxiety literature. I spend a lot of time online talking about anxiety. I spend a lot of time in bed with my head down. They don't directly tell me these things, but I can sense it. So, what are you doing in the meantime while you are allowing your thoughts to be there? Okay? That's the question. That's the question. Understand this. The brain only learns whether or not you're in real danger based on how you carry yourself, based on what you do with your day. So let's get an example in here. We've got person A who watches my streams, who understands that, Wonder Bro's been telling me my thoughts are irrational, they're a bluff, it's just because I'm sensitized, so I've been trying really hard not to follow or entertain these negative intrusive thoughts, but I also just sit around in bed all day. I might make myself get up once or twice, I might force myself in a very sluggish, defeated way, with very defeated body posture to do the things I have to do, the bare minimum, right? And then I stay really quiet, I don't really open my mouth, or, I don't laugh much, I don't smile much, and, I just kind of mope around and do what I have to do, or maybe I don't do anything, right? Maybe I'm not even moping around and doing what I have to do. Maybe I just don't do anything, or maybe I'm making excuses as to why there's nothing for me to do. Okay, throw all excuses out. That's person A, and person A is not going to get very far. I can promise you that. Person B, okay, and this is the person you want to look up to. Person B has told themselves, you know what? I know these thoughts are irrational, but yet my brain is still triggering me. I know these thoughts wouldn't have bothered me before, but yet my brain is still triggering me. So what does that tell me? That tells me that no matter if I solve these thoughts, no matter if I try to be logical about these thoughts, they're still triggering me. Why? Because my brain needs to be retrained. Oh, that's right. That's why we have two main keys. That's right. Okay. So I understand that Wonder Bros says these thoughts are irrational. I'm just in a sensitized body. There's no point in fighting with them. Okay, and even though I know they're irrational, they're still triggering me. So what am I missing here? Oh yeah, again, the two main keys. I need to retrain my brain now. So you see what we're getting at. So person B has accepted their thoughts. They realize that their thoughts will eventually make them laugh as long as they retrain their brain. Their thoughts is just bluffing them because they are in a sensitized body. So they focused instead on fighting with the thoughts, instead of trying to do anything with the thoughts, they have focused, okay, all of their energy on retraining their brain. How? How? In both big or small ways. In both big or small ways. It does not matter. No excuses. There's no excuses to, oh, well, I don't have enough things to do in my life to have positive behaviors. I don't care if you have four walls and absolutely nothing. Okay? There's still positive behaviors that you can partake in. What's a good one, chat? Just putting on a smile. And then some people will say, yeah, but that's forcing it. Is there a real danger? No? Okay, well, you need to prove that to your brain. You're not acting how you want to feel, you're acting how you know you should feel. There's no tiger in the room, so you know you shouldn't be anxious. These thoughts are irrational, so you know they shouldn't make you anxious. So now you're going to act how you know you should feel. Okay? So don't feel guilty and say, "Oh, well I'm faking it. I'm faking it. I'm faking it." You know there's no real danger. You know these thoughts at the end of the day, deep down inside of you, even if you can barely see it now, you know that these thoughts are irrational. So it's not faking it. It's acting how you know you should feel. You know the brain is a little out of whack right now, so you're going to show it the truth. Right? And that means there's no excuses. You can't say, well, I don't have much to do as far as positive behaviors go. You can do anything as far as positive behaviors go. A positive behavior is a positive behavior. So person B realizes that, you know what, I'm not going to put any energy into fighting these thoughts anymore. They're completely irrational. I need to be putting my energy into retraining my brain. How do I do that? Positive behaviors. What's some examples of positive behaviors? Anything from a smile, anything from fixing your posture, anything from walking with your chin up, anything from slowing down a little bit and walking more confidently, carrying yourself more confidently. The brain says run away, but you stay. The brain says freeze up, but you sing to the top of your lungs, right? You're going back to the caveman days because that's where your brain's at whether you like it or not. You're going back to the caveman days, right? So, if you're one of those people who are trying really hard not to entertain their negative intrusive thoughts, but in the meantime you're doing absolutely nothing to show your brain that this anxiety isn't needed, you're not going to get very far. You need to be like person B. Person B has realized that yes, these thoughts are irrational, so why am I putting so much energy into doing anything with them? I just need to retrain my brain and the thoughts will take care of themselves. Soon I'll be laughing. So person B, instead of doing anything with the thoughts, puts all of their energy into their positive behaviors to train the brain, to show the brain that there is no real danger. Right? Right? Now, I'm not pulling this out of my ass, chat. This is what I used, and this is what many people use to retrain their brains. And if you don't believe me, okay, and I know we've got some doubters out there, I've got a few things that I want to read, all right? And this is not from me. This is from many other sources. So if you don't want to take it from me, I'm going to read you some things here as to why you just need to stop putting any energy into doing anything up here and just show your brain with positive behaviors, big or small. Act how you know you should feel. Okay, I'm going to tell you why that is the route to go here. So, okay, the amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for your anxiety response. All right, let's read some things here. If you expect that your anxiety recovery can only start when the thoughts check the stove again, or people don't like me, or I have wasted my life thinking distortedly, now these can apply to any of your thoughts. If you expect that your anxiety recovery can only start, okay, when these thoughts never appear in your head again, then you will fail. Your amygdala will never see your success over your fears. So if you're waiting around for the thoughts to do something, if you're waiting around for up here to fix itself before you get on with your positive behaviors, you're not going to do much to retrain the brain. Now here's another one. that I really like because it goes to show you just how useless getting involved in all this up here is, right? So, what is causing your body to experience such debilitating symptoms? Your thoughts? Sure. But if you know your thoughts are irrational or exaggerated, then why are you still feeling afraid? The answer lies in the amygdala. So you can even know that your thoughts are irrational. You can try to produce all of the logic that you want in the world. But have you ever noticed that that's not quite enough? Have you ever noticed that no matter how much logic you try to produce and vomit up, it's just not quite enough? You're still feeling afraid? That's because you got a brain that still needs to be retrained. So instead of putting so much time, effort, and energy up here, put that same amount of time, effort, and energy that you're spending up here while you're doing nothing, put it into your positive behaviors, big or small, you will retrain your brain. And then all this will become irrelevant. You'll wake up. You'll feel like you again. It really is like waking up. So I want to read another one here. Um, let's see. We mentally take ourselves, and a lot of this is coming from nothingworks.weebly. I've shared this blog post before. We mentally take ourselves back to the cave and imagine the sort of things that would not be beneficial in an actual danger scenario. Not hiding, not staying quiet, not reacting defensively, not giving up your meal, not adopting a defensive posture. All right? So, what it's saying here is we go back to the caveman days. How does the brain learn? By watching your behaviors. What's some examples of bad behaviors? Some examples of bad behaviors would be hiding. So if you're hiding around all day in bed instead of getting up and taking that shower or taking your dog out for a walk or getting up and doing your housework or getting up and doing whatever around the house, no excuses. There's no bullshit excuses here, right? So what's another example of a bad behavior? Staying quiet. So if you're sitting around forcing yourself to watch that movie, maybe you've got company, maybe you don't even have company. I don't care if you have company or not. You're sitting around, you're making yourself watch that movie, you've got a blank facial expression, you're staying really quiet, you're staying to yourself, like this. What do you think your brain is assuming right now, chat? What do you think your brain is assuming when it sees you behaving this way while the anxiety response is turned on? It thinks you're in a cave somewhere hiding from a tiger. To the brain, you might as well be. So when you watch that movie, how about we straighten the back up a little bit, pick the chin up a little bit, maybe smile a little bit, and maybe laugh a little bit. All right? And don't even be afraid to have a conversation with yourself. It doesn't matter. Or another small examples. I like small examples because it gives people who make excuses no excuses, right? Another small example. You're going on about your day. Your brain is triggering you with all these thoughts. Maybe you even know they're irrational, but yet they're still triggering you. So you go to brush your teeth, and you're in there and you brush your teeth, and you're down like this, staying very quiet. You got the heavy breathing going on. You're brushing your teeth. You just can't wait to get this over with. What do you think your brain is assuming while you behave and while you act like that while you're going on with your day? It's assuming there's a danger, right? So how about we brush them teeth with straightened posture? How about we stand up tall and pick the chin up? How about we wink at ourselves in the mirror a little bit? How about we give ourselves one of these? You get what I'm saying, big or small. A positive behavior is a positive behavior, right? To the brain that thinks there's a real danger, your behaviors mean everything, right? So stop putting so much energy and time up here. This will take care of itself, I promise. This will take care of itself, and you'll be laughing at all this. You'll be laughing at all this as soon as you retrain your brain, as soon as you desensitize your brain. That's the only reason all of this matters right now. So instead of putting so much time and effort up here, which is irrelevant, and that's why we say one of our two main keys, don't even bother with any of this. Put all that time and effort into these positive behaviors and watch what happens. See if you won't be laughing soon at what used to make you so worked up here. See if you won't be laughing soon at what used to make you so worked up here. So going on, not giving up your meal. All right, I know anxiety takes your appetite. I know it can be hard to eat, but let's eat those meals anyway. These are just small examples, Chad. You can apply this to everything, right? Not adopting a defensive posture. So if while I'm anxious, if I'm going around like this, or if I've got my head held low all day long while I'm moping around and making myself do my house chores or whatever it is I got to do, and I'm just moping around, my head's like this, I'm staying quiet, I'm not really saying anything. what do you think your brain's assuming? Again, chat, what do you think your brain is going to assume? So, like we said earlier, because this is the most favorite line used by anybody ever who does not want to put in the work. Well, yeah, but that's faking it. Well, yeah, but that's faking it. Is there or is there not a real danger present? And if the answer to that question is that there's not a real danger present, then you need to show your brain that there's not a real danger present. And this is how you do this. So you can call it faking it, if that's what you want to call it. Okay, but I know there's not a real tiger in your apartment with you. I know there's not a real tiger around the corner from you. I know that your brain's a little bit out of whack, and it needs proof from you and your behaviors that that danger is not real. So that's what I know. You can call it what you want to call it, chat, but this is how you retrain a brain. Positive accepting behaviors. And before long, it doesn't feel like work, it just feels right, because guess what? It is right. All right? So you're accepting the symptoms. You're accepting the thoughts, but you're putting all of your energy and time and focus into these positive behaviors. And before long, all of this takes care of itself because the brain starts to realize, look at how he or she is acting. There's no danger here. Let's turn down the heat a little bit. And then everything that was bothering you up here starts to become laughable. Right? And the symptoms that were so unbearable start to fade away. It's because you're showing your brain that you're not in real danger. Your brain is watching. It's got a pair of binoculars, chat, and it's going, how is he or she behaving? Because we need to know if there's a real danger here or not. So every day when you wake up and you lay around in bed and you hit the forums and you spend so much energy trying to do shit about what's going on up here, but you're spending all day in bed. You're not doing jack shit, right? What do you think that's telling the brain? Now, I don't mean you have to go out and climb a fucking mountain, chat, right? I don't mean you have to go out and climb a fucking mountain. You just have to start coming up with some small positive behaviors, whether that's big or whether that's small, right? It can be just your normal everyday life. Maybe you have the most boring life in the world. There is no excuse for not using positive behaviors during your boring life, right? There is no excuse, chat. Okay, you got to cut the excuses. If you want to heal, the excuses got to go, and positive behaviors have to take a front seat. All right, you can stay in the excuse making for as long as you want, but there is never a good excuse for not using positive, accepting behaviors to show the brain that you're not in real danger. Do you feel like staying quiet? Are you really anxious and freezing up right now? Put on your favorite song and sing to the top of your lungs. That was one example that was given in this blog post. So get creative, chat. Get creative. Act how you know you should feel. It's not faking it. It's acting how you know you should feel. You know there's not a real danger, and you know you shouldn't feel this way. So act how you should feel. So that's why when I see people who make excuses, oh, well, my life is like this, and I can't do this, and I can't do that, I say bullshit. I say bullshit. There's nothing stopping you from putting on your favorite movie and making yourself laugh to it. There's nothing stopping you from putting on your favorite song and singing it to the top of your lungs. There's nothing stopping you from finding little things, okay, and little ways to carry yourself in a positive manner that goes against the false alarm of anxiety. There's no excuses for that, chat. So the two main keys: positive accepting behaviors, get on with life, right? And not entertaining your thoughts. I see a lot of people putting a lot of energy into not entertaining their thoughts. But when I say don't entertain your thoughts, I'm not saying put a lot of energy into doing that. I'm saying put the energy into the positive accepting behaviors and living life, and all this will take care of itself because you're proving to your brain there's not a real danger. All right, chat. Now, it's been a while since we've went over behaviors. It's been a while since we've went over, that one of the two main keys, positive accepting behaviors, living life. It's been a while since we've dived in deep with that one. Okay, we've been heavily focused on the thoughts here lately on the channel, so I wanted to make this video to make sure everyone was on board with positive, accepting behaviors, right? And there you go, chat. So, title of the stream, Anxiety Recovery, to feel like yourself again. Act like your old self. And that's why that works, That's how that works, and that's why you need to get going. If you're going to listen to my advice, if you're going to listen to my opinion, that's why you need to get going. So I hope that clears things up for some people. I hope we covered all of the common misconceptions. I hope we covered all of the common questions. We covered the whole, yeah, but I'm faking it thing. We covered that. What else is there? We covered the excuses. Yeah, my life is so boring. I can't use positive behavior. We covered that. So I think we did pretty good on covering every reason why people might be putting this off. And hopefully, if you were one of those people, okay, who are guilty of putting this off, hopefully you get started now. All right, chat. So good stream. I'm happy with it. I'm going to stick around for a few comments while I smoke a cigarette. If you've got comments, if you've got questions, please ask them now. Let's get that turned on. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, let's get them in, chat. All right. Notice yourself while you watch this, chat. What is it you're doing, right? How are your behaviors right now as you watch this? Are you smiling? Are you defeated right now, chat? Are you acting defeated right now? What is it that you're doing, chat? Questions, comments, get them in, chat. What's up, Fee? How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Chat. Anxiety and excitement are the same thing. It depends on what you make of them, right? It depends on your perspective. It depends on that line of dialogue that comes after the feeling. Suddenly my stomach started acting up, so I'm assuming you've been cleared by a doctor. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. Um, I'm assuming you've been cleared by one, though. So having some stomach pain is one thing, right? Having some stomach pain is one thing. But if we accept that as a symptom of anxiety, which I'm assuming it is, then we work with that rather than against that. So instead of getting ourselves all worked up about it, entertaining all those bullshit thoughts, we just put all of our time and energy into that outside world, into those positive behaviors. And that doesn't necessarily mean you got to be going 24/7, chat. That's another one I hear sometimes. That doesn't mean you got to be going 24/7. Oh, I've got to constantly fill my day with something to do, positive behaviors. You can do literally anything as long as it's in a positive way, right? As long as you're doing the opposite of what the anxiety wants you to do. So it wants you to freeze, you're not freezing. You get what I'm saying. I don't want anyone to get into a great panic trying to find things to fill their day with. Like I said, no excuses. You can use positive behaviors doing whatever it is that you're doing, right? That's the beauty of it. That is the beauty of it. Being at home on my own. So if you're at home on your own, you can still use positive behaviors. That is the beauty of it. You say, I'm trying to do normal things. How are you doing those normal things? Because that is where you're going to find why you're not making any progress. How are you doing those normal things? If you're moping around just trying to do your normal daily chores, your head's low, you're up in your head, okay, you're putting all your energy into doing something about the thoughts. Put all of that energy into acting the way that you know you should feel, right? And watch what happens. And that's why I like to say it's not so much about what you do, it's how you do it, right? That's a big one. That is a big one. It's not so much about what you do necessarily, it's more about how you do it. So I see a lot of people that say, oh, well, I still go to work and I still do this and I still do that, but nothing's happening. How are you doing those things? Because the brain cares fuck all. whether you're doing these things or not. It wants to see them in a positive manner. It wants to see positive behavior, right? So you can sensitize anyone and trick the brain into thinking there's a real danger regardless of what they do. It's how they do it. And that's why the title of the stream says to feel like your old self, you have to act like your old self, right? That's why that's the title of this stream. It's not so much about what you do, it's how you do it. So when we say it like that, it doesn't matter if you're at home by yourself, it doesn't matter if you still go to work, if you still go to the gym. You need to prove to the brain by the way that you carry yourself, by the way that you carry these tasks out. If you're just rushing through these tasks or if you're just moping through these tasks, you've got terrible body language, you're defeated posture, right? You're staying real quiet, you're staying to yourself instead of singing out loud, right? Right? Then it doesn't matter what you do. The brain could care less. It's about how you do it. So what is things that how would you behave if there was not a real tiger, right? And then do that. And then do that with your behaviors, right? So let me put this out. Let me put this cigarette out. Let's say, for example, chat. Okay. For example, and I'm going to get this started in just a second here. Let's say, for example, chat, I have been making myself get on with as many things as I can think of, right? But I'm getting nowhere. Why is that? Is it the way that I'm doing these things? Absolutely. The key is in the way that you're doing these things because a behavior is a behavior, right? Taking out the trash is taking out the trash. If you go to your kitchen and you take out your trash, that's one thing. But the brain cares jack shit whether you just took out your trash or not. It wants to see how you took out your trash. Did you rush outside and throw the bag and run back upstairs and jump in bed? Or did you mope around the corner and stay real quiet and to yourself and terrible body posture and just kind of put the bag down and just you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, chat? So that's why we say it's not so much about what you do, it's how you do it, right? It's not so much about what you do, it's how you do it. So instead of putting so much energy into making sure that you're not entertaining the thoughts, just put that same amount of energy, put all of that energy into positive behaviors. The thoughts will take care of themselves. Okay? The thoughts will take care of themselves. Why does the body get rushes of adrenaline? Because it's called fight or flight, right? So what does adrenaline do? It gets you ready to do either. Okay? It gets you ready to do either. There's also freeze, fight, flight, or freeze. It doesn't matter. Whatever your brain is suggesting with this anxiety, you know there's not a real danger. You have to prove that to the brain, right? You have to prove that to the brain. And when you do that, these thoughts will take care of themselves. In time, they will take care of themselves. They will become laughable. There is no excuse for not using positive behaviors. If you want to feel like your old self again, you got to act like your old self again, right? I'm happy to hear that, Sammy. That is awesome. So I just wanted to address that because I notice a lot of people put a lot of energy into not entertaining their thoughts, which is great, I suppose. But you need to put the same amount of energy into positive behaviors. The thoughts will take care of themselves. Don't entertain them. That still remains true, obviously. Don't entertain them. That still remains true. But just put all the energy into your positive accepting behaviors. The thoughts will take care of themselves. By doing that, you're not entertaining them. By doing that, you're not entertaining them and you're giving yourself an objective, a job, right? So, again, you're not faking it. You're just showing your brain how you know you should feel. There's not a real danger, so prove that to your brain. Also, no excuses. Whether you have a boring life or an exciting life, it doesn't matter. I've had people on both sides of the spectrum become sensitized for the same reason. It's not so much about how much stuff you can fill your day with. It's about how you do it, how you go about it. Behaviors, 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 behaviors. How you carry yourself, whether you stay quiet and frozen to yourself, right? It comes down to this. I was really curious, can you do the opposite of super sensitized nerves and have super desensitized nerves? I think what you're referring to is more along the lines of lack of emotion or depression, right? It's not, that doesn't have so much to do with your nervous system. But it's about what you do, guys. Not It's about how you do it, sorry. It's about how you do it, not what you do, right? So don't worry about trying to fill your days with all these things. Just do what you want to do, live how you want to live, and do it in a positive way. Big or small, everything matters. It all matters as far as your behaviors are concerned. Prove to your brain by acting like your old self that there's not a real danger and you will return to your old self, right? Right? So your brain is watching you. You are the lead example. Your brain looks up to you. It's looking to you to help it determine whether or not you need this anxiety. And now it's up to you to prove to the brain that you don't. You're really good at acting afraid. You're really good at acting fearful. You're really good at succumbing to this anxiety. You're really good at acting like the person in distress, right? Let's take those acting skills, if you want to call it acting, all right, and put them into something positive. Put them into some positive behaviors. Watch how you become the person that you're behaving to be. The brain is watching you. It is watching you. If it continues to see you live the way that you're living, it's going to continue to assume that the anxiety that you feel is needed, right? But if it sees you break out of that matrix and behave in a whole new positive way, whether that's in small ways or big ways, from a simple smile to the way that you carry yourself to the conversations that you have to singing your favorite song, the brain will eventually catch on and realize that that's the person you want to feel like, not the person you've been behaving like up until this point, right? And there can be no excuses. It's time to get going. All right, chat? Do this and watch how your mind takes care of itself. Do this and watch how your nerves start to heal because your brain is starting to catch on that there's not a real danger, right? All right, chat. I love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, it's a random stream. I just wanted to address a lot of the common questions, a lot of the common concerns I have. I notice a lot of people sitting around and working so hard on not entertaining their negative thoughts, but in the meantime, they're doing jack shit to prove to their brain that there's not a real danger, right? So you're fighting a really impossible battle if that's how you're going about it. So basically, this stream was just to remind people that, hey, we do have two main keys for a reason, right? All right, you guys. I love you. Go do something positive. Go behave positively, even if you're looking at a wall, right? There's no excuse why you can't smile, why you can't sit up straight, and why you can't hum your favorite song, right? I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. I love you, and I'll see you in the next stream and or video right here. Oh, yeah, my hand feels much better, but I don't think, I was going for a snap, but I don't think it's not up for a snap just yet. All right, we'll use this hand instead. All right.